Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, you guys know the deal on this channel, man. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting the history, bending reality, guys, holding these guys to a standard. And in this video, we're going to talk about LeBron James and this idea or this question. How many turnovers does LeBron James actually have? Because, you know, we all seen that video from my man Johnny Arnett, and I'm sure it's made its rounds, and people have different feelings on it. I've seen different reactions, things of that nature. And I told you guys, and I did my video reacting to that video. But I saw that he put out a vote to his viewers, to his subscribers, asking them what kind of video he should do next. You know, quote unquote, exposing, you know, this and that, you know. And he had different options there. And one of the options that he had on there was for LeBron James and the assist numbers. And LeBron James and him doing a deeper dive and reviewing video footage and see if LeBron James was getting some home cooking, so to speak, or if his assist numbers were being inflated. We're going to talk about in this video, man, because I thought about the turnovers. The turnovers. How many turnovers LeBron James actually have if they really officiate LeBron James and really counted the turnovers? And we're going to talk about this video real quickly, man, because there's a couple things about LeBron James's game and that you notice in the video footage about him. So I want to shout out you guys once again out, man. Everyone out there across the world, everyone across the states has been supporting my channel, man. Shout out to my man, Arthur Alvaridian. I hope I'm saying your name right, my man. You have been, like I said, a continued support, man, of my channel. Thank you for the super thanks. I am truly humbled, man. Like I said, by all the words that you left in that comment. Thank you very much. So shout out to Arthur Alvaridian. I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you for your continued support. It means a lot. Truly, truly humble. Thank you. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I wanted to talk about LeBron James and his turnovers and really, you know, ask the question, how many turnovers does LeBron James actually really have? How many did he really accumulate in his career? And just overall, this stats thing. I want to talk a little bit more about this in the Johnny Arnett video. Like I said, and what, you know, some of the reactions I've seen and, you know, and while I always tell you guys, man, stats don't mean the whole thing. It don't matter as much as people try to make it seem. And that's why I tell you guys, LeBron James can't stand on anything because you can't stand on stats, right? Because stats could be what? Manipulated in various ways for whatever the reasons. There are various reasons, like you said, like you said in the video. You don't know if the statistician is 100% accurate or what he realizes what an actual steal is or block is or an assist is or a rebound or, you know what I'm saying? All these things, right? A turnover, things of this nature. So that's one aspect right there. You don't know if someone does have a bias towards a certain player. That's another thing right there. It could be either way, bias against them or for them, right? These things can go either way. You don't know all of these things. There could be many ways that stats could be manipulated. Once again, man, it could just be honest mistakes at the end of the day. And this is why I tell you guys, stats are not the end-all, be-all, and they're a small part in the discussion for who's greater than another player. Like I said, man, stats could be manipulated through the errors you play in, right? You'll often hear people make excuses for some of the rebounding numbers of the 50s and the 60s players, right? And say that it was the pace of play and these guys not being able to shoot as good, which made there be more rebounds. All these things, right? So you can try to make an argument in different eras. The numbers are different. Right? Look at the numbers in the era right now that we're living in. All the numbers across the board are completely inflated. So are the stats really mean as much as the stats in the past? And this is why the stats don't matter. As much as the on-court game, your success, the way you went about your career, right? Your impact on the players around you, the impact on the league. All these things matter more than your numbers. So when we think about LeBron James, and Johnny Arnett puts out that poll, and he put out things like John Stockton's assists, or maybe Magic Johnson's assists, or some guy's rebounds, maybe Bill Russell or Will Chamberlain's rebounds or something like that. And he had LeBron James assists on there, I believe. And maybe someone else's steals, Alvin Robertson, maybe. And when I saw the LeBron James assist things, I thought that was a fair one to assess, maybe one to ask about. But I also thought about the turnovers. Because when we think about the turnovers, see, oftentimes LeBron James gets hyped up as a pass-first player. And they hype him up as a pass-first player, not to give him credit necessarily as for his passing skills, but to highlight and say, look at how many points LeBron James is able to average while also being a pass-first guy. So they'll say that this is what makes him such a great scorer because he doesn't try to score. That's not his main objective. When in reality, that's a lie. We all know this. LeBron James' main objective out there is to put points up, to put his shots up. LeBron James ain't never going to go into a game and shoot 10 shots, shoot 11, 12 shots. He won't do it. LeBron James out there shooting 15, 18, 20, 25 shots every single game. Easily. So you're not a pass-first player. We all get that. But when you think about the turnover numbers, this is what exposes LeBron James and his passing prowess, or this notion that LeBron James is one of these great passing, one of the great passers in NBA's history, which I do not believe he is. He's a great passer for his position, no doubt about it. He has some passing ability. But to score him one of the great passers in the history of the game, no way. Not with the way that he turns the ball over, just off of the numbers that we see. But when you watch the game, once again, this is where things don't add up. When you watch the game of LeBron James, what do you often see? LeBron James taking 3, 4 steps, 5 steps sometimes. You've seen plays where LeBron James get the ball inbounded to him, and he just doesn't even dribble the ball. He takes 2 or 3 steps without ever dribbling the ball. And no one says anything. No one sees this. This is not once in a while. LeBron James does this repeatedly. You guys all remember that play. I believe it was against the Utah Jazz in Utah. It's in Utah. This wasn't even home cooking. It's in Utah. And LeBron James has the ball at half court. Dribble, dribble, dribble. Picks the ball up, takes 2 steps. Dribble, dribble, dribble. Right in front of the referee. Nothing is called. Nothing is called. Now, these are not statisticians. These are not the bookkeepers. These are not guys that we could question their acumen as far as it relates to the validity of a rebound or an assist, of a turnover, a steal, or a block. These are NBA officials staring right at LeBron James and not calling a damn thing. So, in essence, that play against the Utah Jazz should have been a traveling violation, a turnover on LeBron James' record, right, on his quote-unquote stats. So once again, this is video footage verifying that LeBron James, that was a turnover right there. Turnover, blow the whistle, let's call that a turnover on LeBron James now. So if we go back over the last 5 years now, and we start going through LeBron James games, right? And we start counting the actual turnovers that he had that were never called by the actual officials. How many times have you seen LeBron James dribble the ball, hand completely under the basketball, complete like this, under the ball, while he's making a move? How many times have you seen LeBron James, because he has terrible footwork, try to make a pivot, a drop step, and he shuffles his feet? How many times have you seen LeBron James drive to a basket to use his leverage, right? So I've talked about this. LeBron James uses leverage. He'll lean into a defensive player, but because he's so big and strong, and he's bigger than most people on the court oftentimes, he backs these guys up into a situation where LeBron James is off balance now. So now he has to use that stabilizing step. I always call it a stabilizing step for LeBron James. Because of his lack of footwork, he travels. He uses an extra step to gather his balance back from loss of the bounce, from leaning into people. Travels right there in front of the referees. There's no calls, and LeBron James is able to score a layup. This is every game for years now. So once again, if they want to go back on the record books on Michael Jordan, and we want to watch the video footage, and we want to say, oh, Michael Jordan didn't get a steal there. Michael Jordan didn't get a block there, but he got credit for a steal. And from what I could gather, Michael Jordan was getting inflated steal numbers, but not inflated block numbers. Once again, if anything, they were shortchanging Michael Jordan's block totals. They may have been inflating his steals, but once again, we could also go and say, how about the road games? On the road games, were the stat guys taking away steals from Michael Jordan? We don't know this. It goes either way. And this could be said about any play in NBA's history. Maybe that wasn't a block. Maybe the guy thought it was a block, and they gave it to Mark Eaton. Maybe it wasn't an assist, but the guy thought it was an assist from Magic Johnson, and he gave it to Magic Johnson. It was an honest mistake. It's human error on these things. Once again, these players develop their reputations not because of the stats they put up. I told you, when I was growing up, no one was like, yes, Michael Jordan is the greatest scorer of all time because of all the stats he put up. It was because why? Because he was leading the league in scoring. That's why, because he was leading the league in scoring. Leading every year. From the minute he came in. From the minute he came in. It wasn't all of a sudden Michael Jordan started leading the league in scoring in the 90s when they were giving him some home cooking. No, Michael Jordan, from the minute he came in the league as a rookie, led the whole league in points. This is what he did. He developed a reputation through his offensive game, the arsenal, the display, the aerial assault, the many different ways that Michael Jordan could score, moving without the basketball. All these things. That's what made him recognized as a great scorer. I didn't even know how many points per game Michael Jordan averaged for his career when I was a kid. How many scoring titles in a row he might have won. What we knew is when it mattered most, Michael Jordan could score the ball. That's how you develop a reputation. Magic Johnson is not known as a great point guard because of the assist numbers that he put up. It was the way that he played the game, the way that he ran the court. Showtime Lakers, a floor general. And when you watch the game, you see Magic Johnson. He's all over the place with the basketball. The man was what? He was magic. It had nothing to do with the numbers. So even if they went back to the books and said, oh, Magic Johnson only had 9 assists in this game, but they gave him 13 assists, what does it matter? It matters nothing. Because Magic Johnson's one of the great passers, if not the greatest passer in the history of the game, hands down, because of the video footage, not because of the numbers. The numbers could be manipulated in many ways. John Stockton, same thing. John Stockton's known for his precision, and his grit, right? His determination, his toughness. That's John Stockton in a nutshell. Precision and toughness. 2 words. John Stockton. Not because of the assist numbers he put up. Yes, he might be recognized as the greatest assist man for the assist numbers he put up. But he's one of the great passers in the NBA's history, not because of the assists, because of the on-court game. People talk about Karl Malone a lot. Sometimes they'll use it to knock John Stockton. And they'll say, oh, John Stockton had Karl Malone, blah, blah, blah. But I always tell people that remind them, the thing you have to remember about Karl Malone and John Stockton, the relationship between them, the dynamic, is when you think about Karl Malone's game and the pick and roll and things of this nature. When you think about John Stockton, I talk about precision, guys. That's what I mean. John Stockton is putting these passes. It could be a basic bounce pass to Karl Malone that don't look flashy or like it was anything special, but it was on the money. So Karl Malone didn't have to reach back for the ball, go bend over down low, reach up high, none of these things. It was right there. So as soon as he caught it, right into his motion. That's the precision of John Stockton. This is why the man barely turned the ball over. That goes to his greatness. Not many people could pass the ball on the money as consistently as John Stockton did. Not many people could play both sides of the ball that consistently for that many years like John Stockton did. In an era with some of the greatest point guards in the history of the game. John Stockton was going against the Magic Johnsons, the Isaiah Thomases, the Gary Paytons, the Kevin Johnsons, right? A lot of the great point guards, Tim Hardaway, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash. He went against these guys, man. Terry Porter, Mark Price, Mark Jackson, Dennis Johnson. John Stockton was going against all these guys. That's a great group of players, man. John Stockton was known for his assists, his passing ability, not because of the numbers, guys. And these are the facts that we have to come to terms here. When we think about LeBron James and the turnovers, how many turnovers does he actually have based on the video footage? If you go back and you start going through the games. Shout out to my man, once again, Angry Old Hoops, who has the video footage out there. Go look how many times LeBron James turns the ball over by traveling, offensive fouling players, carrying the basketball. None's called. And he gets credit for those points. Doesn't get any turnovers on his stats, on his record. But yet the man still leads NBA's history in turnovers. So think about it, guys. I mean, think about it, guys, in terms of the overall NBA's history as far as stats go. I believe they didn't even start tracking turnovers until like the 78, 79 season, right? So think about it. They didn't even keep blocks, steals, turnovers. They didn't differentiate between offensive and defensive rebounds for a long time in NBA's history. So if we think about someone like Will Chamberlain, or we think about someone like a Bill Russell, they didn't keep blocks, steals, turnovers for these players. So are these guys lesser? Is Jerry West a lesser player because they didn't keep some of these stats or have some of these accolades during his time? A Bob Pettit, a George Mikan, are they lesser because we don't have some numbers on these guys? No, they're not. They're not lesser. And why are they not lesser? Because the stats never made them who they were. They were not built off the stats. If Bill Russell was regarded as one of the greatest defensive players, if not the greatest defensive player in the game, but he's never recorded a single steal or block. How does that work now? How does that work? If stats are that important now, if they're that important now, that we're going to go back on Michael Jordan and say he shouldn't have won an award based off of his steals not being accurate, how does that work with Bill Russell being regarded as one of the greatest defensive players of all time? Same thing with Will Chamberlain, who to me you can argue as one of the greatest two-way players of all time, right there with Michael Jordan, the Hakeem Olajuwons, some of the great two-way players in the history of the game, the Kobe Bryants, the Jerry Wests. Why is he regarded as such if he's never recorded a single block, Will Chamberlain, right? They didn't start counting these things to when Will Chamberlain was already in his late in his career. Bill Russell didn't record a single block or steal. But he's still recognized as the greatest defensive player. Because it's not about the numbers for Bill Russell and these great players. The numbers tell you he's part of a story, a part of the story. It doesn't tell the whole story. And once again, the numbers could be skewed for many different reasons, as I've pointed out. So I'm very curious to know, how many turnovers does LeBron James actually have on his career? 7,000? How many points less would LeBron James have on his career if they would have called those travels before he scored, those offensive fouls before he scored? If the NBA didn't make the game so soft, but for LeBron James, he can still bang people around and do all these things. But no one else can do that. The defensive players, they can't be physical. You guys know the deal, man. These are the facts here. It ain't never been about the numbers. Not for the real, true basketball fans, guys. The great players, they're not known and have develop a reputation because of numbers. They get the numbers based off of the game that they play. That's where the numbers come from. That's what Michael Jordan said, right? The numbers and all that stuff will come in the course of winning. I was chasing the winning. That's what the great players are chasing. They're chasing the winning. They're not chasing a reputation. They're not chasing a certain reputation based off of numbers. And you never thought about these guys based off their numbers. Hakeem Olajuwon's great two-way play is based off the on-court game. Scottie Pippen, the way that he's remembered, is based off his on-court game. Right? The great players. Larry Bird is based off his on-court game. I tell people all the time, Larry Bird didn't know he was going 50, 40, 90. He didn't know he was doing these things when he was doing them. He was just playing the game. It doesn't matter if he's 50, 40, 90. Now we see that. Now people could highlight that. But that didn't make him greater. It was just someone, oh, wow, Larry Bird did. You already knew he was great. You knew Larry Bird could do all these things because of what he did on the court. The triple doubles, they're irrelevant. Come on, man. You guys know the deal, man. LeBron James been turning the ball over all over the place, traveling. They won't officiate this, man. They won't hold any standard. The NBA right now has no standard officiating-wise. But they want to go back in the books on Michael Jordan, talk about some numbers, and start talking about other guys' numbers. Let's go look at this guy's numbers and see. No. Look at all these guys' numbers. What do these guys' numbers mean? They mean nothing. You guys know the deal, man. We must continue to set the record straight, man. Stand up, man. Stop the lies and the narratives. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.